The rain poured down as I stood on the doorstep of my childhood home, a single suitcase in hand. My father's words still rang in my ears, cutting deeper than the cold November wind. "You're an embarrassment to this family," he had roared, face red with anger. 28 years old, and what do you have to show for it? A failed startup and a bunch of computer codes. My mother stood behind him, clutching her designer handbag, a gift from my successful sister Lisa, who ran their chain of luxury boutiques. Lisa watched from the staircase, her perfectly manicured hand covering a smirk. "Dad, if you just let me explain about the tech company I started." "Enough," he cut me off. "Lisa made her first million at 25. She gives your mother designer bags worth thousands. And you can't even afford rent without borrowing money." What they didn't know was that I hadn't actually needed to borrow money. I'd been living modestly while pouring everything into my technology company, Nova Digital Solutions. The failed startup was actually on the verge of something revolutionary. "James," Mom stepped forward, her voice soft but cruel, "maybe it's time you grew up. Lisa has offered you a position at one of her stores. Starting at the bottom, of course." "I don't want to work at a boutique," I said quietly. "My company is developing a new security system that could Could what?" Lisa interrupted. "Fail like everything else you've touched? Face it, little brother, you're not cut out for success." Dad grabbed my arm, practically dragging me to the door. "Until you can prove you're not a failure, don't bother coming back. We can't have you embarrassing us in front of our friends anymore." My suitcase hit the wet pavement with a splash. The door slammed behind me, leaving me alone in the rain. They had no idea that earlier that day, I'd signed the final papers selling Nova Digital's revolutionary security system to one of the largest tech companies in the world. The deal was confidential until the public announcement next month. The amount? $240 million. Standing in the rain, I made a decision. They wanted success. They wanted proof of worth. I'd give them something they'd never forget. I pulled out my phone, dialing my real estate agent. "Angela, remember that historic mansion on Riverside Drive? The one my family's been dreaming about for years? I want to buy it. Today." "The Morrison estate?" She sounded surprised. "But your father's been trying to purchase that property for a decade. It's not even on the market." "Everything's for sale at the right price," I said, watching the lights go out in my childhood home. "Make it happen. And keep my name off all public records." 2 years. I'd give them 2 years to stew in their certainty of my failure. Then when they least expected it, they'd learn exactly what their embarrassment had become. I had one more call to make. "John, start moving forward with Project Phoenix. It's time to show my family what failure really looks like." As I walked away from the house I'd grown up in, I smiled despite the rain. Sometimes being kicked out is just the push you need to orchestrate the perfect revenge. 2 years passed quickly when you were building an empire. Nova Digital's security system had revolutionized the industry, and I'd parlayed that initial success into a technology conglomerate worth billions. Not that my family knew. They were too busy with their respectable boutique business to notice the tech world's new rising star. I kept tabs on them, of course. Lisa's boutiques were struggling against online competition, something my e-commerce platform could have helped with, if she hadn't been so quick to mock my computer codes. Dad had been trying desperately to maintain their luxury lifestyle while their profit margins shrank. But their biggest obsession remained the Morrison estate, a magnificent historic mansion that had been their symbol of making it for years. Dad had tried 7 times to buy it, each time being told it wasn't for sale. Till now. "Mr. Harrison," my assistant called through the intercom of my penthouse office. "Your family just arrived at the Morrison estate for the signing." I smiled, adjusting my custom-made suit. "And the papers?" "All prepared. They think they're buying from Morrison Industries. They have no idea you created that shell company last year specifically for this moment." I checked the security feeds, a perk of owning the city's leading security firm. There they were. Dad straightening his tie, Mom touching up her makeup, Lisa texting rapidly on her phone. All dressed in their finest, ready to finally claim their dream home. The real estate agent Angela, who'd helped me buy the property 2 years ago, was playing her part perfectly. "Mr. and Mrs. Carter, everything is prepared. The owner's representative will be here shortly for the signing." Finally, I heard Dad say through the feed, "After all these years, We'll have the finest house in the city. Show those tech nouveau riche who really belongs in high society. If only he knew that half the old money estates in the city were now owned by tech entrepreneurs, many of whom used my company's security systems. Lisa, darling, Mom fussed with my sister's hair. Take some photos for Instagram. Your followers will love seeing you in your new home. Speaking of home, Lisa smirked. Heard anything from our little embarrassment lately? James. Dad scoffed. Probably still playing with his computers in some basement apartment. Thank God we cut that dead weight before it dragged down the family reputation. I stood up, straightening my Patek Philippe watch worth more than their entire boutique inventory. Time to show them what dead weight looks like. The security feed showed them all gathered in the mansion's grand study, the contracts laid out on an antique mahogany desk. Dad was practically salivating as he reviewed the purchase agreement. Everything appears to be in order, Angela said smoothly. We just need the owner's representative to arrive for the final signatures. Can't they hurry up? Lisa complained. I want to start planning my housewarming party. This place will be perfect for my influencer events. Mom was already measuring the walls with her eyes. We'll need to replace all these old paintings. Something more sophisticated. Actually, I said, stepping into the room, I'm rather fond of those paintings. I picked them out myself. The silence that followed was absolutely perfect. The color drained from my father's face as I walked into the study. Mom's designer purse, another of Lisa's generous gifts, slipped from her grasp, hitting the marble floor with a thud. James. Lisa stammered. What are you doing here? I own here, I said simply, moving behind the mahogany desk. Morrison Industries is one of my shell companies. Actually, I've owned this estate for the past 2 years. Impossible, Dad whispered. This house costs $47 million, I finished for him. A bargain, really, considering my net worth. I turned to Angela. Would you mind showing them the real contracts? She produced a different set of papers, these bearing my company's actual letterhead, Nova Technologies Group, now one of the largest tech conglomerates in the country. You see, I continued, enjoying their shocked expressions, when you kicked me out that rainy night, calling me an embarrassment, I just sold my failed startup for $240 million. That was just the beginning. Mom sank into an antique chair, her carefully maintained facade cracking. But you never said. Like you never said, congratulations when I graduated top of my class? Or, good luck, when I started my company? Or even be safe, when you threw me out in the rain? Lisa, always quick to attack, found her voice. This is some kind of trick. You couldn't possibly. I pressed a button on my phone and the room's hidden screens came to life, displaying my company's portfolio. Technology patents, real estate holdings, stock valuations. Total worth $4.8 billion. That bunch of computer codes you mocked? I smiled. They protect everything from government facilities to, ironically, your failing boutique's payment systems. Yes, Lisa, every time someone swipes a credit card in your stores, they're using my technology. I've been collecting a fee on every transaction. Dad stepped forward, his businessman instincts kicking in. Son, perhaps we were hasty. Family should stick together. Maybe we could discuss a partnership. Partnership? I laughed. Like the partnership you offered me? Start at the bottom, prove you're not a failure? I picked up their purchase contract and slowly tore it in half. Consider this my response. You can't do this to us. Lisa shrieked. We announced to everyone we were buying the Morrison estate. Ah yes, your social media post. How many followers do you have, Lisa? 10,000. I pulled up another screen. My company's combined social media reach is 300 million. Should I announce how the great Carter family couldn't afford their dream home? Mom started crying. Please, James. We're your family. Family. I walked to the window, looking out over the estate's magnificent gardens. Family celebrates success together. Family supports dreams. Family doesn't throw someone out in the rain for daring to be different. I turned back to them. You have 24 hours to publicly retract your announcement about buying this house. After that, I'm moving in and security will be instructed to treat you like any other trespassers. Where are we supposed to go? Dad asked, his arrogance finally shattered. I hear there's a lovely apartment available in a basement. Perfect for failures and embarrassments, isn't it? As they shuffled out, broken and humiliated, Lisa paused at the door. I'm sorry, James. We all are. Sorry you were wrong about me, or sorry you lost your shot at the mansion? She had no answer. The next day, their social media announced a change of plans regarding the Morrison estate. A week later, my company went public, making headlines worldwide. The embarrassment was now one of the youngest billionaires in tech. I did move into the mansion, but not alone. I turned the East Wing into a technology incubator for promising startups, giving young innovators the support my family had denied me. Every Christmas, I host a gala there, celebrating new entrepreneurs, the invitation list notably missing certain Carter family members. Dad's boutique business finally failed last month. He now works as a sales associate at a department store. Lisa's influencer career fizzled when her followers realized her luxury lifestyle was mostly smoke and mirrors. Well, she still carries designer bags, but now they're knockoffs. Me. I kept the security footage from that day, playing it occasionally as a reminder that success is the best revenge, but wisdom is knowing how to serve it. Sometimes being kicked out of a house is just the first step to owning a better one. After all, every embarrassment has the potential to become an empire, if you just give them enough rain to help them grow.